I really don't feel like getting into this. I really don't feel like making this video, but I might as well just to get it out of the way. Everybody knows the whole story of how I got banned from Highway Divides, but I guess we're gonna start from the beginning. So, it was 2016. I had created an account on there, and everything started off smooth sailing. It wasn't until because I was obsessing over the 1970s era 12-inch Eagle flatback installs, which, I couldn't really help, because if you're not aware, I have Asperger's, and people on the spectrum tend to have issues regulating very obsessive or repetitive thoughts. But the thing is, if you live around Philly, that's kind of that's the Pose Inc. stuff. That's kind of a difficult topic to avoid because just about every intersection in the area derived from Pose Inc. Whether it was formerly a set of Pose Inc. stuff or, it was currently still there. Most of the intersections in the area descended from Pose Inc. in one way or another. Bear with me, I'm not using a script, I'm using notes. The sarcastic and sexual comments users on how it. Oh yeah, people made fun of me for being interested in them. One dude on Highway Divides was like, and mind you, this was when I was still a minor, oh yeah, this guy has a knee-deep boner for 12-inch Eagle flatbacks. And then another dude was like, this was later on in the Facebook groups, but one dude was like, Brandon is fapping to his screen while looking at all these Eagles. And I told him to take down the post, which he did. But, that's totally uncalled for. That is extremely inappropriate, God forbid if I guessed the wrong year, a set of traffic signals were installed, but they have the right to make a sexual comment about it, which I'll get into more probably later in the video. Another reason why I got kicked off Highway Divides, Matt accused me of lying about my age, which I didn't. I vaguely remember somebody on the forum was questioning my age. This is 2016, so I told him, I was 14 years old at the time. I told him I was 14, and then Matt accused me of lying, which that wasn't true. It was because I was born later in 2001, so I was still 14 at the time I had said that. But Matt wrote it off as me lying about my age because he assumed I was already 15 because of the year I was born. Using other people's photos, mainly because I wasn't old enough to really go out and take any photos of my own, which that is my fault. That was on me. But after Matt called me out, I did use credit. I did give people credit, but there was one time where I slipped up and didn't, and that's when Matt got angry. And I believe he did suspend me for that. I was wrong when it came to this, which was creating a fake account to circumnavigate the ban, which, at the time I didn't know better. And, me being on a spectrum, was a lot worse at the time. Autism, even Asperger's can cause delays. So at the time, I really didn't have any malicious intent. It was just a lapse of judgment due to my mental condition, which for whatever reason, Matt didn't care about. He acted as if I was completely neurotypical and fully aware of everything I was doing. And I really wasn't. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I didn't know the extent of how bad it actually was. Another comment I made on Highway Divides that Matt took issue to, if I remember correctly, I was talking about an old set of signals that were installed decades ago, and I was saying, I wonder what happened to the guys that installed these. They're probably dead or demented by now. Matt took issue to that, and he claimed I was having a bad attitude, but it's kind of true. If the average signal technician was like 38 at the time, and that was what, 45 years ago, that's likely to be true. So even though what I said was not exactly appropriate, it wasn't exactly wrong. Yeah, I did create fake accounts after he permanently banned me to get back on, but let's be honest, a lot of people do the same thing. If they get banned from a forum, they create a fake account to get back on, but because it's such a niche community, it's easy for Matt to catch you. It's not like a forum about, sports or music that has thousands and thousands and thousands of members. Highway Divides is a very tightly knitted niche community that only has about 600 people. So yeah, if you do get banned, it's easy for Matt to remember who you are, especially based on your location. And considering the fact that both me and Matt are both from Philly, that also made it easier for him to catch me. But yeah, that's the gist of what happened on Highway Divides. I didn't do anything terribly wrong, It's not like I said anything, super offensive or vulgar or homophobic or whatever. It was just the obsession over the 70s era Eagle installs and the using other people's photos and then creating fake accounts to circumnavigate the banishment. I remember a year after I got banned, a friend from high school, he created a fake account on Highway Divides for me, but it only took me about a couple weeks to get caught because I was stupid enough to mention my old account. But, lo and behold, people were talking shit about me. One guy was even saying he looked at my Flickr page and cringed at my generally, and I say this with air quotes, generally incorrect information, which when I was on Highway Divides, yeah, he's definitely made a point, but later on, no, like all the dates I was saying and whatnot, they were true because I would email PennDOT for records. And speaking of which, one of my biggest pet peeves was people automatically assumed that every set of 12-inch Eagle flatbacks from the Philadelphia area were from the 1960s, when the typical set of flatbacks around Philly were installed in like 1973. The thing with PA is they were huge fans of using new old stock. So like they were installing flatbacks as late as like 1977. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so for a couple years I kind of fell back, with the signal community stuff. I mean, I was still posting on A-Roads. I remember on A-Roads I had made a post about how I got banned from Highway Divides after a friend from high school made a fake account. Matt came after me on there and he said, you did the same shit that you initially got banned for. This is why you, not your friend, were banned once again. And I get why he was upset, but that was completely unnecessary for him to, carry over the drama to another website. Even though I was technically doing the same thing, but, two wrongs don't make a right. Bear with me because my memory may not be the best, because it was years and years ago. It was 7-8 years ago. What else? Oh yeah, he claimed it would have caused him legal issues due to lying about my age, which I never did. Obviously, on the fake accounts, I did, but I'm talking about my initial account. And what Matt doesn't realize is, the powers that be, they have way bigger fish to fry than somebody going on to highway divides and lying about their age, bro. This is a form about traffic lights. You really think you're gonna get arrested or go to jail because somebody lied about their age on a form about a very niche hobby that's the furthest thing from, you know, being remotely sexual, despite the fact that a lot of you guys on there sexualize the hobby. Matter of fact, true story, I had reached out to another person who got banned from Highway Divides because he called out the BS of the members on there for sexualizing the hobby. Because a lot of guys on there do sexualize the hobby. I heard that a lot of the guys on there make sexual puns about the hardware and stuff. Even Matt himself, because he refers to good traffic lights as signal porn. I did have a friend different from the guy that I know in high school who created a fake account for me. I'm no longer friends with this individual due to things outside of Highway Divides. He talks shit about my family and a whole other horrible list of horrible things he did, which I'm not going to get into for the sake of his privacy, but I made a dick move by voicing my concern to him about being sad about getting banned from Highway Divides. So his solution was to send an inappropriate email to Matt with sexual comments in there. I remember he made a comment saying, "Oh, you act like Brandon posted a picture of his dick and posted it on Highway Divides." And then he made another comment saying, "Oh, you are so mean." I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not going verbatim. "You're so mean, shove a traffic light up your ass." And I'm like, dude, Matt's decision was final. No matter what you do, you're not going to convince him to lift the ban. He's beyond forgiving me or giving me another chance, man. And I told him not to contact Matt, but this dude has serious mental problems. He's known for stalking people or blackmailing people that have wronged him or his social circle. Even after I cut him off, he created, he was contacting me with fake numbers. He even recruited his girlfriend to contact me to convince him to be friends with me again months after I cut him off. But I'm not going to get into that because, like I said before, I'm going to keep quiet for the sake of his privacy. Yeah, and I joined the Facebook groups during the pandemic, and Matt still wouldn't let go of everything I did on Highway Divides. He even outed me to be a horrible, disgusting piece of human garbage, Matt probably hates me to the point where he wants me dead. I remember I went out to West New York to take photos of the rare four-ways. Something that's not a 70s era Eagle install. And I remember I had gotten upset because there was a four-way that got replaced by a McCain cluster. And, to exaggerate a little bit, I said, "Oh, it got replaced by this nasty set of McCains." And then Matt commented, "Oh, nasty? How do you know it didn't get hit by a truck? You're doing an awful lot of assuming." And then Nick, he was civil about it. He was like, there could have been a number of things wrong with the old signal. There could have been a wiring issue. this, that, and the third. And I told Nick, thank you. At least you're being civil, unlike Matt. And then Matt was like, oh, not cool again. Drop it with the attitude. And then I responded with, you're treating me this way on the Facebook groups because you can't let go of what you did on of what I did on Highway Divides. And then Ian was like, you're saying Matt can't let go of what you did on the past? By past, you mean lying about your age and breaking every rule at least twice? And then after that shit, I got blocked from the Facebook groups for like 8 months. And then in order to get back from the Facebook groups, I had to have a phone call with the dude who owned the Facebook group. He was like a moderator of the Facebook group. I think his name was Brian or something. I had to have a voice call with them, and he said the main reason why you got kicked off of the Facebook group was not necessarily because of the argument. It was because he was getting a lot of complaints from somebody, and it was obviously mad about you talk too much about talking too much about 70s era Eagle installs and misinformation. And the misinformation is a load of bullshit because by then I had already posted newspaper archives and inspection letters confirming the date of various intersections and when they were installed. Last time I checked, I don't think Matt has gone that far when it came to doing his research. So it's quite evident to me that I was right. He can't let go of what I did on Highway Divides. It's one thing like him banning me from Highway Divides, but for breaking the rules and not following form etiquette. But let's not pretend he and other people on there acted inappropriately as well. Two wrongs definitely don't make a right. Just because he's, the master chief and commander of Highway Divides, that doesn't give him the right to act however the fuck he wants to act. It ain't just that. I did apologize to Matt. I wasn't trying to convince him to lift the ban. I actually did feel bad about what I did, but he wrote it off as you're just trying to manipulate me in order to lift the ban, which I wasn't. I actually felt bad for what I did, and I at least wanted to be, cordial or cool with Matt on the Facebook groups, but he could have said that instead of making it all about his form. He said something along the lines of, you're not listening to me, my decision is final, after I made it clear several fucking times that it wasn't about me trying to convince him to lift the ban, because by then I had already started my own form. I said I have no need to go back on Highway Divides, but he made it all about him. I think Matt may have some form of narcissistic personality disorder or something like that. Because, he never owned up to any of the things he did wrong as well. And he was also saying, I was going around convincing everybody that he was wrong. Which he wasn't necessarily wrong for kicking me off his form. What he was wrong was, the inappropriate behavior and allowing people to treat me like shit on Highway Divides for very, very minor infractions. And I even tried to get people to join my forum, and they would brush me off saying, why does your forum exist after Highway Divides always exist? I busted my ass creating that forum. I spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars using the software and different plugins, and nobody appreciated the hard work that went into it. I busted my ass, man. I had many sleepless nights trying to manage my forum, but nobody appreciated it. Nobody. I even wanted a career out of this. I was even able to reach out to Greg, which he was a signal technician from the Philadelphia area, and he did use my forum every now and then, but I guess he had stopped using it because I think it's safe to assume Matt had said something to him because he said that he had some sort of arthritis. I think it was called medial condylitis or something. And, I knew that excuse was BS because he was still actively posting on Highway Divide. So, yeah, it's obviously safe to assume that Matt had said something to him. He probably told him, oh, Brandon's a bad person. Don't go on, And because of that, Greg slowly drifted away. And I finally reached a point to where I broke. I was like, I can't take this anymore. I can't manage my form anymore. I give up. And I eventually shut it down, especially after my friend, which we're going to call him Jerry, sent that inappropriate letter to Matt saying, oh, how dare you treat somebody on the spectrum like this. You should be ashamed of yourself for banning him from Highway Divides after very small infractions. And that's when he made the sexual comments that Matt took issue to. Oh, yeah. And, the whole situation is just fucked up. Because I know what I did was that bad, but it definitely didn't. I knew what I did was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Sorry for the stuttering and shit. I'm kind of nervous and I don't really have a script. I'm just improvising because I just want to get this out of the way. But, shit. I mean, I get it, but, his inappropriate behavior wasn't warranted too, especially treating me harshly. I remember when I was on Highway Divides, I was asking about, what year a particular set of signals were installed, and they responded to me with sarcastic comments. One dude even made a 9/11 joke. But of course, Matt didn't bat an eye because this dude was a moderator. By the way, his name is Larry, if you're not familiar with him. Larry from Highway Divides. He's one of the moderators. He made a 9/11 joke. Of course, Matt let that slide because, let's face it, the dude has selective hearing. There's even a dude who was saying racial slurs on Instagram. And if you don't already know, I'm the only black person, the only person of color from the Philadelphia area that was part of Highway Divide. So that in itself is an issue. So I guess this dude, if he knows, he would allow a racist on his forum. Yeah, but God forbid, like I said earlier, you can make sexual comments about traffic lights, but God forbid if you obsess over 70s era Eagle installs. And I was still talking about other stuff too, like the Carlin era, Durasix stuff from the 80s, Safe Trans stuff, McCain's from the early 2000s, Kraus-Heinz Art Decos. I did far more documenting than any of the other guys on there did, but because of the things I did, they still didn't appreciate it. Matt would never, ever leave a like or a thumbs up on any of my posts. It didn't matter how rare it was. It didn't even matter if it was like a 4K photo of the most rare signal. It didn't matter if it was like an ancient four-way, super rare four-way from the 1920s, and it was like a crisp 4K photo of it. He didn't like it, but if somebody else took photos of a blurry random set of TCTs, he put a thumbs up on it. Obviously, he was still bitter about everything I did. The dude hates me. He hates my guts. He thinks I'm a shitty person. He thinks I'm a horrible piece of human trash. Even though the things I did weren't even that bad. And I've only been banned from one other form online. And I created a fake account to get back on, and I didn't get caught. Nobody batted an eye. And even if they did know about it, I don't think it was that big of a deal because after that, I didn't do any of the things that caused me to get kicked off in the first place. And, oh yeah, I remember one dude was saying, oh, Matt had doxed me after that dude Jerry sent fake letters to Matt. No, not fake letters, inappropriate letters to Matt. Matt made a thread on Highway Divides doxing me, revealing my full government name in the entire community, talking shit about me. There's even one dude who assumed I don't have a social life if I'm still obsessing over being banned from Highway Divides. And Highway Divides is like the place to go to if you're a Signal fan, if you want to be a Signal tech, if you're really into traffic lights. Why wouldn't I still be upset or salty about still being banned? Like, the Facebook groups are just not the same. Oh yeah, and Ian, one of Matt's closest friends, he blocked me on social media because I had made a comment about Matt yelling at me or making sarcastic comments towards me over my favorite set of flatbacks getting replaced. Which, I mean, it's true. It's not like I said anything that bad about getting kicked off. And like I said before, there were people on there on social media making racial slurs, but bet you if I said something homophobic, because I've noticed a lot of people in that community are part of the LGBT community. If I said something homophobic, I would have gotten canceled immediately. But you know, me as a black person, you know, there was a dude on there saying racist things. Obviously, you know, he got away with it. I even called him out for it, and everybody said it wasn't a big deal. There were even microaggressions, too, because a lot of the old stuff around Philly, a lot of the guys were afraid to be in those neighborhoods. And some of those neighborhoods aren't necessarily bad. It's, you know, I assume because they're predominantly black that they assume it's a bad neighborhood. I even have family that lives in those parts of Philly. You know, I guess I could be missing a few pieces of information, but, you know, that's a nutshell. That's in a nutshell of the whole story between me and Matt butting heads, and that's my side of the story because he did leave some details out. But yeah, dude, the whole traffic light stuff, you know, it's not cut out for me. And it's quite evident that, you know, the Most High or the powers that be, you know, the universe has other plans for me. You know, I say if you get banned from Highway Divides, you might as well find a new hobby because it's such a niche hobby. You're not, if you get banned from Highway Divides, the Facebook groups are not the same because they don't have as much information as Highway Divides does. And you're not going to find as much good information or interesting topics if you do just use the Facebook groups. You know, you're better off just finding something else. And that's exactly what I've been doing, you know, with the screenwriting stuff. Because that was also a passion of mine because, you know, I was super into that. You know, I'm a TV buff. But yeah, man, that's the whole story in a nutshell. I don't really think I have anything else to say. Hopefully Matt doesn't come after me or sue me for defamation, which he couldn't really, because everything in this video I said was true. Because him and members of Highway Divides were hypocritical. They did treat me horribly. They didn't consider me being on a spectrum, which caused obsessive behaviors. But yeah, you know, I decided to make this video 2 years later, just because that's after the storm kind of cooled. You know, I could finally voice my opinion without adding more fuel to the fire. But yeah, man, that's it. You know, I've given up on traffic lights completely. I still like them, but with all these online groups, nah, I'm done. I can't, especially after the whole back and forth with me and Matt butting heads. You know, it's over. And people assuming I have no social life just because I'm really passionate about what I do, I do have a lot of friends in real life. Most people I know in real life don't even know I'm interested in traffic lights. Not even the girls I've dated. No, you know. But yeah, like I know what it's like to be in Mac's shoes because there's another community I'm in where there was a dude I blocked and he created fake accounts in order to contact me. There was a girl that I was in a short-lived relationship with. She contacted me after I broke up with her, and and the dude who sent fake letters to Matt, he attempted to contact me afterwards, so I get it. But the bad treatment and outing me as a horrible person, that is just uncalled for. I'm not just this crazy, insane menace to society that people make me out to be. I'm just a regular person. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And that wraps up the video. I don't think I have anything else to say. If I missed a piece of information, I might make a community post about it. But other than that, I ran my mouth for long enough. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, that's the whole situation. And that's that.